This is the project file we have been working on last time. We will be adding a package called styled components here. We will use the yarn command, and we will add it from the palette as a regular package, not a development package. Sometimes, when you often run the yarn command for styled components, especially while the terminal is not open, you may unexpectedly encounter errors such as this. For instance, at that time, it was executed while NBN use was not properly activated, but now, with NBN use, we have correctly loaded the node. It can only throw an error the first time, but after that, if you run yarn again, there won't be any errors. When you input it, it gets added like this. This is how it is currently set up. And for now, at the moment, I will start organizing specifically from app.tsx. In my case, I separate the screen layout into a styles folder. So, in the new file index.ext, I have set it up so that when I type snf or scn, it imports styled components. At the same time, it says native here, which refers to the styled components for React Native. As you can see, I am importing and using various components from React Native. You can also use React Native components directly here. However, from what I see, the main root component is Safe Area View. I set up the Safe Area View like this, and then I configure the container like this. If there's only one, it will cause an error. So I have set this as a dummy. Otherwise, I would need to set a default. But considering what will be added later, I do it this way. So exactly how do we import it? We use styles. For now, we don't need the rest, so I'll import it like this. In this particular instance, we are focusing on the essential components that are required for our current task. Then, we don't need the things here, so I'll remove everything unnecessary. This means eliminating any redundant or superfluous elements that do not contribute to the functionality we are aiming to achieve. We don't need the section, and as for styles, since I'm using styled components here, we don't need any of that. Styled components provide a more streamlined and efficient way to manage styles, making other styling methods unnecessary in this context. I won't need React Native either. I'll just add the syntax. React Native is not required for this specific implementation, so we will focus on the syntax that is relevant to our needs. The app has been organized in this way. Next, when there are many screens, we usually use a routing library called React Navigation, but here we will simply communicate via USB. When the ASCII code A is received, it will display the letter A, and when B is received, it will display the letter B, and so on. Therefore, we won't be using the React Navigation library for separate screens in this case. Instead, we will consider implementing a routing library later on. And since we will also be using something called context in the next session, we will create a separate folder called Screens to organize the layout. In my case, for screens, I consistently utilize lowercase for file and folder names. If there are 2 or more words, I effectively separate them with a hyphen, like test USB, to categorize them. Additionally, I have indeed established an index KXX as a snippet with VFC, so it can be conveniently configured. I won't go too deep into React Native or React, but just like a function can indeed receive parameters, a component is also capable of receiving parameters as props. This is referred to as pull-up in this context, and in the case of pull-up, it actually is applicable. You use it like a function component, and when props are not needed. The full name is void function component, but it's shortened to VFC for use. Here, I've set it as VFC. Next, we create a styles folder to better organize and manage styles effectively to structure the screen within this. Then, we create a file named index, which will serve as the main entry point for styles. Adjust the settings to include scene settings, data parameters, and specify both the width and length of the object or area. Ensure the configuration is comprehensive and extends to cover the entire required scope, making it sufficiently long to meet all necessary criteria. Now, after placing the children all in the center of the room, I will proceed to display the letters A and B on the board. But for the time being, I will only show the letter A, using a text size of approximately 50 for this demonstration in a clear and visible manner to ensure everyone can see it. The container here is different from the one used here. The specific container used here is the one in the styled components over there, while the container used here is the one in the styled components within this subdirectory. First of all, I'll mark it as A. I've done this particular part, and now I need to call it. After calling it as screens main, ensure to add a capital letter before the dot, and this is how I define the specific screen. Now, at this point, I'll certainly execute the mirroring program. I ran it, but it seems that the background is like this because of the system's dark or light settings. If you look at the styles here, I'll just change the container to white for now. See, it actually changed, right? In that particular state, the font size is indeed a bit small, so I changed it to 300 px, like this, and then, if you take a look, the styles folder is also in the root, and I've organized the styles for the corresponding root. The actual container here is a safe variable, and I set the background to white. If you look here, the main screen is called separately and displayed here. This main screen is simply structured like this, with a container and text. But the actual container is a view, and I've arranged it like this. If it were structured differently, the alignment would change. I've organized it like this. In this session, we worked on structuring the user interface of a React Native screen using styled components. In the next session, we will add an additional USB-related library to the project to enable communication between Android and Arduino, while we could simply organize the functions that use the library within the necessary screen. Doing so would hinder reusability later on. Therefore, we will modularize it into a separate context, allowing us to easily use it in other projects as well. I will see you next time.